It's spooky season, so that means that I will be turning this into this. I have always loved Halloween. I have never carved a pumpkin because I'm unfortunately Australian. Although I don't think I'd want to be an American. You guys are low-key living in a cult. That Pledge of Allegiance? No thanks. I spent so much time trying to think of like a really cool creative idea for my little pumpkin dude, which was 13 bucks, not so bad. He's looking a little rough on the back, but who cares? Who doesn't look rough from the back? You know what I mean? I spent so long trying to think of like an original or unique idea and found really cool ones online, most on Pinterest. But at the end of the day, this is my first pumpkin carving. I want to keep it classy and classic. So I'm going with Jack Skellington, the Pumpkin King. I know it's not the most original or unique, but this is an experience for me. I'm a pumpkin carving virgin. I don't like how that sounded, but it sounded. Yeah, I'm just gonna go through the process and discuss some of my thoughts. This might be fun for Americans who do this all the time. And to laugh at my attempts. I have googled hacks, I've googled tips, and the main ones are to cut the top not in a perfect circle but in a keyhole so it's easier to access the back. Also to scrape out the husk, the shell, to be an inch thick, which is like 2.5 centimeters. I'm gonna do it 2 centimeters. It's also summer for us. It's not summer, it's spring. It's just really hot. It's Australia. It's spring for us, so having pumpkins and like all the stuff that goes with Halloween, that's super like autumn season-y. It feels weird celebrating holidays that have such seasonal themes to them. But gosh dang it, I'm gonna carve a pumpkin. I'm gonna get started. I'm hoping that I can actually save the seeds and make pumpkin seeds. Let's get started. Oh man, this is spooky. Should I like make a circle, carve like that? Oh, this is smart. Good thinking, Jesse. Make the shape. It's bleeding pumpkin juice. I'm gonna do it like this. This is scary. This is spooky. Okay, that went real deep. This is scary. I feel like I'm cutting into someone's skull. I mean, technically I am. Not technically. I mean, I kind of am. Is that loose? I don't know. Okay, it's satisfying but terrifying. Oh god. I should be listening to Halloween music while doing this, but honestly, I'm too scared to cut my fingers. Where's Jamie Lee Curtis when you need her? It's leaking. I don't like that. Okay. This is rather exciting. Release! Oh! It smells good. Okay. Okay. It's like a portal to another dimension. This is a good pumpkin. That feels both revolting and super satisfying. It's like a Dr. Pimple Popper video. Oh, it's gross but feels good. I don't know, man. They're very stringy inside. Oh my god, there's so many pumpkin seeds. This is amazing. I am 100% making pumpkin spice granola. That is something that works in any season. Also, I know a lot of people know this already, but you know pumpkin spice lattes don't have pumpkin. It's like cinnamon, anise, clove, allspice, that kind of thing, because it's the spices with which you would spice pumpkins. And they just color it orange. And most of your pumpkin pie filling is actually squash. So, America, you're living a lie. This feels so good, my dudes. And it smells good, it smells fresh. Alright, this is how far I've cleaned it out just by hand. That's not too bad, but it's still quite thick and I want to shave it down so that I can carve properly. And And I'm gonna do that with a spoon. I thought the ladle would work better, but it's a bit too big. So I'm gonna show you what it looks like after I clean it out. But first, let's get to work. Can I just carve this like that? Oh, it's not too hard. Okay, so this is how it looks now that I've hollowed it out. I'm gonna clean this fellow up a little bit because it's covered in gunk. And then I'm gonna start tracing the design. Okay. This isn't exactly fitting well, but whatever. Now to poke out the stencil. Now to unveil it. Interesting. But it's a good guide. I'm gonna have a break, give my hand a rest, and then start on the actual carving. Looks pretty cool. Eyebrows done. I'm loving the spooky look. Now we're gonna time lapse while I do the eyes, because I want to listen to some music and it's copyrighted. Pretty happy with the eyes. Now I'm gonna do the nose and the mouth. So again, just time lapse, dude. There's not really a super cool way to film this. I feel really bad cutting open his mouth. That's like the scariest part. I've already, like, this piece is very loose. I'm scared it's gonna break. I've finished and I'm really in love with how it looks. I'm gonna clean up his mouth a little bit more, and then I'm gonna show you what he looks like with his candle and everything. And after that, I'm gonna just talk about my thoughts, because this is basically a new art medium for me, and yes, I'm gonna be that wanker and talk about the experience. So stay tuned for the reveal. It's been a couple of days. He's looking okay. Got some toothpicks in to keep the structure of his face holding up. And I just wanted to talk quickly about the experience, like using a new medium, because I'm pretentious like that. But in all seriousness, I think it's interesting to talk about crafty things in like a very high art way, simply because most crafts are just things that women did. In the 70s, when men started taking an interest in pottery, it started being seen as a fine art and it started to be called ceramics. As trivial as it sounds, I'm going to talk about this like it's high art, because why the hell not? The medium was quite interesting because it decays over time. So scooping out the inside was an interesting experience, quite mushy, quite soft, all that. But scraping it down a little, as I read from some master carvers, and to make the skin a little bit thinner so that it's easier to get the shapes out, I went a little bit overboard. The eyebrow ridges don't have enough solidity, and I also went a bit too far with the cuts to the corners. So if you want to do something that's detailed, definitely get yourself a small kit with like tiny knives, or like an X-Acto knife, or like one of those cutting knives that you use for cutting open boxes and stuff. That should work a lot better than just the regular knife, but I still managed to get this amount of detail with a regular kitchen knife. So, you know, and I'm not that fussed about it falling apart. It's a pumpkin, it's going to go rotten. I wish I had a GoPro to do a time lapse, but I guess I'll have to satisfy my curiosity by watching people on YouTube do that. So, you know, the pumpkin seeds. So, they turned out really good. I was kind of skeptical because I was like, these are decorative pumpkins. They're not necessarily grown for their seeds or their flesh. The seeds are really nice. So 10 out of 10 recommend. Thanks for watching my video. I'll see you next week.